Scooby and Brian here on SportsCenter. Oh, a lot big expectations heading into the season for the reigning ACC champion Clemson Tigers. Their QB, Cade Klubnik, returns after throwing 36 touchdown passes last year, third most in the FBS. Klubnik is tied for ESPN Bet's second shortest Heisman odds after Texas's Arch Manning. Tom Allen joins the Tigers defensive coordinator after one season at Penn State. Nittany Lions were top 10 in the FBS in scoring and total defense in Allen's lone season as their DC. And a big reason for the hype revolves around Dabo Swinney and company having the highest percentage of returning production from 2024 in the FBS, according to ESPN's Bill Connolly. Joining us now is the man running the show down at Clemson, the head coach, Dabo Swinney. Coach, welcome to SportsCenter. You know, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the national average for returning production, a little over 50%. Yours at 80%, more than any team in the country. Do you believe that's the main reason Clemson will not only win the ACC again, but will be back competing for the national championship this season?
I'm not into predictions. I let y'all do all that. We're not going to predict our way into championships or any win. You know, you got to earn that. So I think if we're fortunate enough to do that, it's because they've done the work and they've earned it. You know, week in and week out. But you know, we do have a great group. I think the biggest thing is you know, we're top in the country in retention. That's a big reason why. You know. These guys are still here, and they're excited about each other. They love each other, and they love the place that they're at. And that's why they all have stayed here, and it's exciting to be a part of it and look forward to getting on the field with them next week.
You know, Coach, when you were winning national championships there at Clemson, you had great quarterback play, Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. Do you believe you have that kind of player in Cade Klubnik, who's getting that preseason Heisman hype?
Well, I think he's a guy that's gotten better every year. And, you know, last year he took a big step forward. I think he's a winner. And I think anytime he's healthy and on the field, we got a chance for number 2. So just proud of him, and we just need him to, you know, just stay focused week in and week out and continue to be the leader that he's been. But I don't have any doubt that he has the ability, you know, to lead us, you know, every week. To be the best we can be and to compete for our league, because that's really it all starts, is trying to, you know, win your league, you know, be the champion of this league. He's done that twice now, and if he does that again this year, then he'll have an opportunity to prove it on a bigger stage.
You know, so much was made of your philosophy of building your roster through traditional recruiting, especially since you didn't use the transfer portal last year. But you did sign 3 players this offseason. Has your stance on the portal changed?
No, our philosophy hasn't changed in that, you know, we do what we think's best for Clemson. We've signed 5 portal guys in 5 years. But from year to year, you know, the portal's a great tool if you need it. We have the highest graduation rate in America, and we're top in the country in retention. But when we need to fill a gap, if we feel like we have one, and last year we had 2 young receiver depth guys leave. We needed to fill that. We signed a receiver. We got a experienced linebacker in Jeremiah Alexander. And then we needed to go get a starter guy at DN, and we were able to do that with Will Helt. So that was what was best for us, and that's what we do. So that part's the same. And whether you're taking a high school kid or a portal kid, the process is the same. You know, do they fit the purpose? Are they passionate about football? Who are they as people? Do they believe in our place at Clemson and fit the place? And that part never changes.
Help me settle something, Coach, because you open at home against LSU. Everyone is saying we're going to find out which program is for real in that season opener. Brian Kelly says the game's not being played in the real Death Valley. So my question is, which program plays in the real Death Valley?
Well, I think first of all, both programs are for real. These are 2 great programs. We've met a couple times over the years. Great respect for LSU. But I think if you just Google Coach McMillan, who was the head coach at PC, and you can go and do that research on your own. But all that matters is how we handle our business. In Clemson, South Carolina, on August 30th. So that's our focus. But that stuff is historical facts. So I'll let you do the research on that. You can report back.
So
I'll be tuned in for your report.
Okay.
You have a homework assignment.
I got you. Duly noted. So then, what's more intimidating, running down the hill in Death Valley with your Clemson Tigers, or running down the hill with the Savannah Bananas as we take a look at this?
That was crazy. That was definitely with the Tigers, because all I had to do there was just kind of get out of the way and go eat some popcorn and watch it. But that was an amazing experience. I tell you, the Savannah Bananas, I didn't really know much about them prior to them coming to Clemson, but incredible organization, a ton of fun, and one of the coolest experiences I've had.
I echo that. We had them in studio, and we danced with them, so I'm with you. It was a lot of fun. Dabo Swinney, head coach of Clemson, best of luck to you this season. Thanks for hanging out with us on SportsCenter.
Thank you. Good to be with you. Go Tigers.
Ruby and Brian with you on SportsCenter. The Big Ten Media Days going down in Vegas. Certainly high expectations for a number of squads. Let's start with the defending national champion Ohio State, which needs to replace one-and-done QB Will Howard. Head coach Ryan Day said they have decided to prioritize a QB competition over adding a new QB from the portal. You got Penn State coming off a program record 13 wins, first appearance in the college football playoff. Nittany Lions will continue with quarterback Drew Allar, who has gone 23-6 as a starter the last 2 years. And then you got the reigning Big Ten champ, Oregon. Fresh off a 13-1 season, the Ducks lost a lot of offensive firepower, but Dan Lanning and company had ESPN 300's third best recruiting class, snagging a trio of top 25 recruits. And after 3 straight college football playoff appearances, Michigan took a step back last year, going 8-5. Wolverines did sign QB Bryce Underwood, ESPN 300's #1 recruit, to boost their passing game. Well, wrapping up her Vegas residency is our college football reporter, Heather Dinich. And Heather, let's start with Michigan. Closed out last season. They had some momentum, knocked off Ohio State, knocked off Alabama. But what's the next step, you think, for Big Blue in year 2 of Sharon Moore era?
It has to be reestablishing their offensive identity. Look, last year was one of the worst in terms of their passing game, ranked 131st in the country, ahead of only the service academies. They can only go up. You mentioned Bryce Underwood, the top recruit in the country. They've also got Mikey Keene, a veteran quarterback who was banged up this spring, but he transferred from Fresno State. He can help too. But I'm interested to see what Coach Sharon Moore says about that competition, given that Keene was banged up and Underwood comes in with so much hype. I don't think there's a definitive answer at that position right now, but that has to be their priority going into this season.
Yeah, Bryce Underwood, well, he's a local kid there from Bellevue. He's the second #1 recruit that the Wolverines have brought into that program since Rashawn Gary, who they got out of Jersey. All right, so let's turn our attention to the reigning conference champs in Oregon, looking to avoid that post-playoff drop-off. They lost, 57% of their roster. So what's their head coach, Dan Lanning, saying about this year's squad?
Well, I talked to him yesterday, and there's been so much hype around Ohio State and Penn State here at Big Ten Media Days. I asked him if he thought his Ducks were flying a little bit under the radar, and he said, you know what? I don't mind being the silent assassin here. He said, we had the most talented team last year, but there's not a lot of talent drop-off this year. He said, it's going to be a lot of new faces for fans, but he's confident they can pick up right where they left off last year after winning the Big Ten title. And remember, Dan Lanning's been been pretty darn good at making use of transfer portal quarterbacks. Dante Moore is next in line, and Dan Lanning told me that Moore has had a year well spent listening and learning.
All right, that's good stuff because as a freshman, you know, Moore had some ups and downs. I think he finished with the lowest QBR in the conference at 32.6. Heather Dinich in Vegas. Thank you.